require law enforcement to be present. So that was kind of a high just level of how we get to setting speed limits. Some of the things we're doing, want to mention for the public watching, these are the different methods we have. You can reach out to us on most of the social media platforms. You can also call the office here. We do have RCKC Connect if you want to stay up to date with projects and closures we have going on. We are also hiring, and that information is available on our website if you're interested in coming.
I know I've worked really hard with Ryan to do that between our organizations. I know there's other people at our organizations that are also doing that. So these are just some things I wanted to share from our perspective, and maybe some goals that we could work towards with some of our policymakers, both at the Road Commission, at the state level, and at the township. So as Ryan mentioned, the Michigan Vehicle Code does set some default speed limits for certain types of roads or areas, but there are other ways that you can collaborate with the local township, the road agency, and the state police to set non-statutory speeds. So you do not have to default to the 85th percentile. That is just one way, and it's one factor. I would say that industry-wide, we are seeing actually quite a shift from just using that as the sole factor, and not that it shouldn't be considered, but the 85th, the 50th percentile, as well as the land use, the crash history, the different modes that are available in the setting, and definitely the design. I don't think that that gets enough recognition that we can create roads that help influence behavior. One of my favorite bosses once told me we can't out-design stupid, and we will not ever be able to do that, but we can definitely, as engineers, influence some of those behaviors just inherently. When the road is more narrow, when there are certain signs at certain appropriate locations. I'm not saying we should go pepper the right-of-ways with signs. So I think we can be very intentional about some of these areas. I'll also reference that in the MUTCD, there are places that it says we should not use the 85th percentile in isolation to set speed limits, especially on some of the roads that I know get brought up often. It was even mentioned in Ryan's presentation, Nichols Road. We have Drake Road in Oshtemo, Q Avenue in Texas Township. So those are some of the roads that should use these other factors and these other characteristics to help set the speed limits, and it should not just default to the 85th percentile. I think when the 85th percentile was set, it's kind of like, for me, I talk a lot more about sewer than speeds usually, but you know, septics were meant for the right time and the right place. The 85th percentile was not meant to be a blanket policy for every speed limit. And so I would encourage us, again, as professionals, I have a great deal of respect for Ryan and the work that he's done and the patience he has with listening to some of my compromises and solutions. So I think we can get there, but I know it's gonna take the people sitting up at the dais, both here as well as we have a board meeting tonight, so I always encourage them to look for the opportunities. There are some bills currently, House Bill 4597, which is at the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Who knows when it'll get read, but it is there, and it talks about when you do some of these speed studies and engineering studies that are cited in the Michigan Vehicle Code, some of these other factors to look at and how we can use our expertise to help set the appropriate speed limit. So I just want to share that with everybody. I'm taking the opportunity to, make sure that we're not just saying that one size fits all. I think it's really important to use the engineers and the expertise you have, not only in your own organization, but around the region, to try and come up with some solutions. And like Ryan mentioned, I love roads. I believe they are the fabric to a community. At the township, we deal a lot with land use and parcels, but the roads make all those parcels connected, and it really can give a sense of quality of life. It can give a sense of community, and so it is important how we design them, how we connect them, and how we make them safer. So thank you.
Any others here in the room? Do we have any online participants wanting? Okay. Commissioners, our managing director and commissioners, any comments, questions? Mr. Davis.
Ryan, could you clarify for myself and the rest of the audience and citizens at large, to whom would you petition if you wanted to get a change in a particular stretch of roads speed limit? Because I know it's not us. So where does that land?
So, yeah, typically the residents will call here first, right? So we will usually engage them in conversation about the process that's outlined in statute that we follow, what that could mean that could happen on the road. For us to start the process, we need a resolution from the township to request a speed study on a section of road. That will be taken in and reviewed, and we'll review it with MSP. They will review the scope of what we're going to study. So if we've had in the past a stretch of road has been requested, MSP has told us we need to look at a longer stretch. So they've expanded the stretch that was being looked at. But with that resolution, we will then move forward with starting to do data collection and looking further into doing the study to determine the 85th percentile and provide that data to MSP for their review, and ultimately they're the ones that make the final determination on, yes, we agree with the data you've shown here, or no, we don't. If they do, they'll issue us what's called a traffic control order, which will allow us to put a sign up on the road. But typically the calls start here, we have a conversation, but we need the township to come to us with a resolution for a speed study, is how that process starts.
Thank you, Ryan.
Managing Director.
All right, I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Can the road commission set speed limits that can be enforced?
So, see, the mic isn't on, so I'm just going to repeat real quick. The question was, can the road commission set speed limits that can be enforced?
Without Michigan State Police.
We cannot set it without that traffic control order from without the traffic control order from Michigan State Police. It is not an enforceable speed limit. So if that is not in place, we have the defaults for like the rural road 55 miles an hour, residential 25. Those would be the speed limits that would be enforceable on those roads. But if we've found some over the years, we have some speed limit signs that are up. We don't have a traffic control order for them. Anybody who's gotten a ticket on those roads could have challenged it, and we couldn't have provided anything to justify that speed limit on that road. So that's in some cases what happens when we do these projects. We find we don't have a traffic control order for signs that are out there, and we remove the signs because we don't have they're not legally enforceable. Therefore, we don't want to create issues between law enforcement and residents. Again, trying to make sure that everybody stays compliant. A majority of the people that are driving on the road stay compliant.
Any other questions, comments?
Great presentation.
Yes,
Thank you.
and I'll add pavilion last night, speeding in school areas, so I'm glad you covered, part of that. High level, there's a lot more details I know go into that, but thank you.
Yeah, I know you mentioned speeding in schools. We do get calls from time to time on issues with that, and we do, again, we reach back out and say, hey, there's certain things we need from the school to be able to do our job, to do some things out there. So in some instances, some things aren't getting done because we aren't getting that feedback from the school timely to be able to help them. So
If I could follow up a little bit there, in the school zones, are the traffic control measures at expense of the road commission, or the schools participate?
depends on the type of device being used. So if they're just static signs, we'll typically take care of those. If it involves the flashing, we permit the schools to operate those in the right of way, so the schools take care of those.
Okay. Well, double check up front here. Any further questions?
No, thank you.
Audience, any further questions, comments online? Not hearing, seeing any. We'll move forward in our agenda. Again, thank you to our traffic engineer, county engineer, Ryan Minkus. Our next item is a new business. Request approval of the 2025 County Road Association Self-Insurance Fund, also known as CRASIF, Board of Trustee election ballot. There we have a motion. Let's start with Managing Director.
Sure, I can just give a quick background here. So, as Commissioner Stahauer mentioned, CRASIF, which is our liability pool, has recently informed the Road Commission that there are 3 seats available on the CRASIF board. So with that, there are 3 incumbent candidates that are interested in those positions, and in your packets there should be a brief bio and letter of interest for those 3 candidates. So all 3 of those candidates are actually current commissioners at various road commissions throughout the county. So with that, we are recommending the approval of the 2025 County Road Association Self-Insurance Fund Board of Trustees election ballot, including the 3 incumbent candidates presented.
Thank you, Managing Director. Board members, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion to approve with support. The motion as presented to us then is to vote in favor of County Road Commission representatives Bill Lutzo of Marquette, Wayne Schoonover of Charlevoix, and Michael Scott of Montcalm for the positions on the board of CRASIF. Last chance for comments or questions. We will call a vote here. All those in favor of voting for those representatives on the CRASIF board, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you. We are now at our second time for public comment on non-agenda items in our meeting. Those that would like to speak, please come forward to the podium, state your name and where you're from. Do we have anyone present that would like to speak? Okay, not seeing any. Do we have any online? No one online. Okay. Thank you. At this time, it's opportunity for our managing director to give us some perspective on road commission matters. So.
Sure, I got a few items for us today. So just a quick update on projects. We are moving along very well through the construction season. We have 3 major primary road projects underway, and all 3 of those are either in or approaching the final stages with hot mix asphalt applications and then some restorations. So we hope to have those 3 projects wrapped up here in September. we have budget, annual budget coming around the corner, so we'll be providing some dates for an annual budget workshop with the board. Should be coming up in early October. We'll get you a date here shortly. I also want to mention we do have a couple staff members here today that I want to. First of all, I'm going to start with Carson King. He's one of our road maintenance operators. I see him here today, so just welcome him. And also, J.C. Calloway has just transitioned into a new position here at the Road Commission. She is now our Assistant Human Resources Director, so congratulations to her. A couple other items. If you recall at the last board meeting, I mentioned that the Road Commission received a refund check through the CRASIF, County Road Association Self-Insurance Fund pool of approximately $14,000. We have since also received a refund through our liability pool, which is the Michigan County Road Commission Self-Insurance pool, for the amount of $123,000. We typically see these types of refunds, especially with our liability side, but pretty significant this year, so that was very welcomed. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is we also have an event coming up. We're preliminarily scheduled for September 24th, but we'll get you an exact date and time coming up. But it's going to be our RCKC 103 session. So we've had 101, 102, and then now the 103 session. What's interesting about this session, and I just want to reach out and say thanks to our communication team for putting this together, but the format is going to be different with the 103 session. It's actually going to be an open house type format here at the Road Commission on September 24th is a preliminary date. We'll get you a time, but I think we're thinking like 3 to 6. But we should have something at the next meeting for certain. So just real quick, in the open house, we're going to have stations set up, and some of the items we're contemplating is we're going to have a session for the budget. We'll have an area for chip seal, fog seal, and road science. We'll actually have some equipment set up out in our storage building that we can also go view. We'll have an asset management and finance booth. We'll have an innovations booth, a section on trees, our MS4 permitting and drainage. We'll have a session on non-motorized permits and planning, winter maintenance and gravel roads, SS4A and traffic services, and speed limits. So this is open to all elected officials. So we hope to have quite a turnout. And we do have, like I said, a lot of items that we could share. So pass the word, and again, we'll get some more information out and some more detail in the weeks to come. But I just wanted to make sure the board was aware this was coming in September. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Any questions for our managing director? Okay. Well, I'd like to give commissioners time to make comments. We could start with Commissioner Davis.
Thank you very much. There is going to be an Environmental Health Advisory Council meeting tomorrow morning at 9. I'm planning to be in attendance for that. I just got back from a extended family vacation, so I'm been kind of disconnected from the community for a bit, so I don't have a lot else to report, but as soon as when I get back from that council meeting, I'll let people know what's going on.
Thanks, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Thompson.
I was at the Cooper Township board meeting last night, as Supervisor Sorensen mentioned, about 19th Street. I am going to Climax tonight for their meeting, and then I have Board of Public Works on the 18th of next month that I will not miss this time. And I will not be at the next meeting as I will be up north on vacation. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thompson. Commissioner Dickinson.
No report.
Okay. You probably noted we're missing our chair this afternoon, so that was with notice, uneventful day, or an eventful day, but it's delayed. Our Chair David Pulowski, we hope to see him back as soon as possible, and we expect so. From my perspective, or items I've been involved with, we had the county parks meeting that occurred early August, ordinary meeting, good activities occurring, parks are well used. One comment they're going to work on is ADA policy and broader implications. So I don't mean to imply or highlight that too extensively. Probably one I should note, they're looking forward to Willem Preserve having a public open house ribbon cutting coming up in September. Last night I was able to attend the Pavilion Township Board meeting, and the presentation today regarding speed was relevant. There was a question in their meeting and school zones, and they're looking at, are there things they can do where they have residents with concern there. Tonight I hope or expect to be at Oshtemo Township, so we appreciate the comments of Public Work Director Ms. Horner, and we may hear more tonight. Double checking, any additional board comments, questions, audience, going once, twice? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Thank you for your attendance and presence.
these mics are off, you can hear nothing. And I was surprised by that. Like I thought there was just silence in the meeting, and Sherry ended up saying like, "Yeah, Jim, that's right." And I was like, "Jim was talking? This is a terrible way for me to do minutes."
John, is the treasurer online with us? Okay. Can somebody send, will you send Claire a message and it's 5:30? What is bouncing? Hey, detective, welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what doesn't show up on my printed version?
You know, Melissa, those olives are still on your desk if you need a snack.
Do we have Claire yet?
She hasn't responded.
All right, let's give her one more minute. Not according to me. I am not going to say anything derogatory about the type and model. I apologize for the delay. We're going to give the treasurer who's, okay, give her just a second to get logged in. Thank you, John. Is it Matt? Okay, is Matt ready to go? Matt's thumbs up. All right, folks, let me draw your attention to our business at hand. Welcome, and it's my pleasure to call this meeting to order, and I invite you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for being here and braving the much-needed rain that happened earlier today. I was glad to see it. At this time, I am on item number 3, which is remote location identification for remote attendance when permitted by statute. On the dais tonight, we have Trustee Ford, Trustee Sikora, myself, Clerk Farmer, Trustee Chapman, and Trustee Cole, and joining us remotely as permitted by statute. Claire, if you would please identify yourself and your location.
Yes, I am Claire Bushka, Treasurer, and I am at my home in Oshtemo Township.
Thank you. Just as a reminder to the members of this body, in case I forget, also our IT team over there, Claire is permitted to vote by statute this evening, so if I forget, please let me know. This time I invite a member of this body to share one of the township core values as we enter this meeting.
I'll share it. Core value, dedicated to open communication to improve productivity and effectiveness.
Thank you, Trustee Cole. Now I move to agenda item number 5, the approval of the agenda. Before I ask for a motion for approval agenda, I want to make sure that this body received the message that a budget amendment was added. The township public-facing board agenda was updated to reflect that. If there are any other questions or changes to the agenda, I would hear about those now. If there are none, then
I move we approve the agenda as currently showing on the website.
Second.
Is that okay? Isn't that
It's totally fine.
okay?
That's what I do too, Neil. I go to the one on the website just to be safe.
It's funny. Yes, okay. So we will be working off the agenda as approved from the website. I have a motion by trustee Sikora and support by trustee Cole. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Treasurer?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 7-0. Next, we'll move into the work session, which is we'll begin with the accomplishments, goals, and values. And we have clerk,
Skip
God.
one.
You know what, this is what I get for having an ink pen in front of me, you're right. I just checked it off and moved on. Now is our time, item 6 on the agenda for our public official and community partner updates. I see we have our county commissioner here, Dale DeLue. Dale, did you have anything to share?
You could have skipped over me then. I was just here 2 weeks ago, so I don't have a lot to share, although I don't know if you saw the meeting last week. When the county, you know, we put out grant requests because we had $400,000 to spend. Well, we received over 61 requests, Ashmo being one of them. And the total request totaled a little bit over 7 million. We have 400,000, and I believe we'll be discussing that a week from tonight, and I will do my best to get Ashtamo some of the funds that they requested for a good purpose. I don't want to steal any thunder from the sheriff's employees here, but
They're in the regular session.
The Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Department Citizens Police Academy will be starting up again. You can apply online. It basically runs from Labor Day through Thanksgiving, once a week on Wednesday nights from 6 to 9 p.m. I believe the supervisor, you went through that? I think it's probably a really valuable experience to anybody that wants to attend and apply. I'm sure there'll be more applications than they have openings, but I would encourage any citizens of Ashmo to apply for that. And lastly, yesterday I received an email invitation to the annual Kalamazoo County Farm Bureau meeting. They only meet once a year, and it's this year on August 28th at 6 p.m. at a farm in Scotts, Michigan. So if you want to attend, feel free to look it up online. I know we do have some farmers still out here in Ashtamo Township, so if anybody's interested, they should look into that. And I'm open to any questions.
Any questions for the commissioner? I have a couple comments, but Treasurer Bushka, do you have any questions for the commissioner before we move forward?
I do not.
Thank you, Treasurer Bushka. So I will take this opportunity, since you're here and you mentioned that we submitted a grant in the competitive grant process, and I appreciated the county reaching out very directly to local municipalities, I assume other organizations, to apply. Just so that this board is aware, as well as any citizens with us or watching, is that Ashamo submitted a grant requesting the county to partner with us to do a traffic study along the Drake Road corridor and then continued westward on M43. And it's our hope, Ashamo has already committed $20,000 for that grant to do Drake Road South, correct, Anna? And so this would allow the expansion of that study to go Drake Road North, which is where the youth complex, the youth sports complex is going, as well as help us extend the traffic study west. So thank you for mentioning that. And I know you have a tough job ahead of you, but, you know, we would appreciate your support
I will
in
do what
that.
I can.
And then the next thing I want to point out is the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Citizens Academy. And I will make sure, we have our new meeting communications manager here. I'll make sure that we push that out on our social media as well. A very valuable experience to sort of understand the depth and the amount of responsibility both internally in the sheriff's office as well as out on the street. And so it is a significant time commitment, but very valuable. So I encourage, if you have the opportunity to participate, I know Trustee Cole, that might feel a little bit like been there, done that for you, but it is a worthwhile activity, given the fact that we partner with the Sheriff's Department at a significant level. I think it's particularly important for this board and our public that consume that service to understand all that goes involved. So thanks for mentioning that, Dale.
Thank you.
Sherry, I don't know if it's appropriate to ask a follow-up to your statement.
Sure.
I thought the traffic impact study from the youth complex going in was going to be covered by them.
Who's them?
The youth complex,
No.
No?
No, the traffic impact study, they have, I believe that they shared that they would, there was some road building that was included as a part of that project, but not the traffic impact study.
Okay, so our traffic, if this gets approved, our traffic impact study will be done, I'm assuming, prior to them moving in, and then they would build additional
That would be
roads,
the
or That
goal.
would be in negotiations, of course, but,
That would be the goal, to get it done
Okay.
ahead of construction.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, and I think, just as, like, for clarifying, so the city of Kalamazoo, the county, Kalamazoo Township are also engaged in this work. So the view of this grant and asking the county to partner with us is an extension of what's coming out of downtown, down West Main. Now that the youth sports complex property has been identified, that we include Drake Road North in that, and then Ashimo can then do Drake South from West Main and Drake down to Stadium Drive, and then also out West Main, as we know, there's more. So, Anna, did I hit that right?
Yeah, I think we could reference the pages in the county's packet too, and I can send that out to the board so that they can kind of see how we describe the limits and what would be included in the scope.
Yeah, there's a really, yes, I think that's a great idea. We can add that just as.
Because I think
if you
that will
wanna
help clarify some of the terminology we use at different stages of the study process.
And are we trying to be strategic? Dale, planning ahead, Commissioner, yes, we are. And that goes for you too, Mr. Stayhauer. And actually, I would like to share that the Road Commission did issue a lot of support for that grant as well, as did many of the road agencies, Commissioner DeLue. So I do hope you'll read our submission. Am I pitching for it? You betcha I am. Okay. Next, I do see our Road Commission representative, Mr. Stayhauer. Do you have any information you wish to share with the board?
Our Road Commissioner, Kalamazoo County. I didn't have specific information tonight. I haven't been here for a month or so, maybe a month and a half, so I'm paying a visit to stay in tune with your township. That's all. If you have comments, I can receive them.
Any questions for the commissioner? Claire, do you have any?
No.
Okay, thank you. I have one, and I briefly shared, I want to share it publicly though, just so it's out there. And I've been in conversation with the director as well as one of the engineers, but we do hope to be on the Road Commission's agenda at the August 26th meeting, I'm hoping, so that we can close or at least get permission on the sale of a parcel that's related to our Fruit Belt Trail project. So thank you for being
Good.
here, but I want you to know it's coming down the pipe.
I have heard it's coming down the pipe, so you have more direct information than I do, but I'm told it's coming. Good to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, good, thank you. I know our Parks Director is very anxious to close that chapter so that she can move forward on the Fruit Belt Trail development and the requirements by the state of Michigan in the Michigan National, or Michigan Trust Fund grant. Is there anyone else here representing a community partner, or, and I'm sorry, the Sheriff's Department, you're on the regular agenda, so you don't get to be now. All right. So then I will close public, do we have anyone online with a raised hand? No? Okay. So next we'll move into the work session, and first on the topics is the accomplishment goals and values, and we have Clerk Farmer here, and I would invite you to share your work.
I suppose values, vision, they could be interchangeable.
I know, right?
My vision.
I mess them up all the time, actually. I mess up accomplishments and achievements. They're both A words.
Both work. And joining us tonight is the clerk's office staff, Melissa Rugg, my deputy clerk, and assistant clerk, and Carrie Tyler, who is my assistant to the clerk, but she does our records management, and she is our election specialist. What do I need to push, John? No. Yes. My AGVs didn't make it into the packet, but I've basically just taken some of the information from this presentation and I populated my AGVs with that, if you guys want to take a look at it. I can make that available to you, and this report that I created is available on our website. So, 2024. This is a reminder, I do this before all of my AGVs, a reminder of the work that my office does outside of our statutory duties. This is a list that's included for the public to understand and for the board. And we get into, this is a simple presentation. We're breaking down what we did and what sort of traffic we saw last year. So the first, the clerk's office manages accounts payable. We manage the general ledger. We manage cemeteries. We manage records. We manage elections. And you're going to see some interesting numbers from all of those. So this is similar to last year. Only a lot more, but the clerk's office last year, and by clerk's office, I mean very specifically Melissa Rugg, right there. That's her. She processed $9.1 million in payments. That was 3,300